stand up here and let me do it for you. Now, when you, and now you're equal balance here.
Right, okay.
Now, when you flex this right knee, and you drop this hip, it pushes your weight into a convex position. There's more weight now on your left leg than the right. Then you're going to transfer it back to the right leg by, this is the internal vastus muscle here. You're using your quadriceps here to extend this knee and the hips back here. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
So the right knee is extended, the left knee is flexed, the left hip is flexed. The femur is flexed, so the muscle comes from here, this side, there. The femur is flexed. Then you have the rectus femora that bends the hip. See, now I'm going to do this. I'm going to use press spinatus to make this go lateral and up. Mm-hmm. Understand? See, you can do a lot of work with the pec and the lat, but to make this go in a different way, that's an elevation, you see. You don't just let it go around on a flat plane like that. It's changing from a perigee to an apogee. A perigee is the lowest point of the arc, and the apogee is the highest point. So you're going from a perigee to an apogee, back to the apogee. And you see these people swing from a apogee down to the perigee, and they come around and finish low. See, if you took this club and let it go this way and didn't do anything to it, that arm would come up here, reacting to the centrifugal force. Centrifugal force is circular momentum where you have an attached end and a detached end.
Okay. Okay, now I think what you're talking about, we rigged up a little thing here to explain centrifugal. And basically, the center of the swing plane is
the cervical,
which is, if you took your wingspan, that's just the absolute middle of that, right? Yeah. Right there, that little knot.
Right.
And then when you put your hands together, pretty much cuts that in half. Right. Okay, and so basically what we're doing is you're taking this point, right, and what I'd like for you to do is describe for the...
And you're rotating this around that point. Now, in a golf swing, you see, I'm not standing here doing the same. My hips move that way because I have a lateral shift, so I'm doing a pendulum action of the swing. And when I hit the ball, when I'm back here, I'm at 11.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they wouldn't know what a reference point is, but what I want you to do is, a lot of people talk about centrifugal force and have actually tried to describe it, but there's a lot more to it. Now, when centrifugal force is actually, you call it the escape force.
Yes, when this thing is oscillated around what we call a fulcrum point, it tries to escape from this holding point, okay? Mm-hmm. And that, the faster it moves, the more centrifugal force and more outward feeling of escape. See, centrifugal force is escape force. Centripetal is the prohibitive of escaping.
Okay, so the centrifugal force would actually be this thing trying to from the center.
Yeah, from the axle.
From the axle.
The perimeter of the wheel.
Centripetal would be the actual hold on it, right?
Yeah.
That's the rope.
See, that's to keep it from escaping.
Right. Okay, now the mother of centrifugal force is actually angular momentum, but you call it circular momentum.
Well, I think it describes an angular, but people think of this. I'm thinking about a attached end connected to a detached end, and that will make an arc. Right. And that making of that arc right here is creating outward pull. It's the anti-gravity, or gravity, you understand? And your holding is the anti-gravity.
But in relationship to the golf swing, the circular momentum, let's just get her going here, ideally you want the centripetal and the centrifugal to be equal.
Equal, that's
right. To create a plane, right?
But all you're doing with this left arm is just in a state of
okay, well, don't get ahead here. Hang on a second. Okay, so now we've got the escape force and the resisting force, and now we've got the centrifugal, I mean, going like that, so it creates this plane.
Now you've got a constant perimeter.
Okay, in a golf swing, what 99% of the people do, once they get the thing up to the, up to the top, the centripetal, or the holding force, takes over and it pulls it down.
Yeah, if they try to pull the perimeter into the center, they are creating a centripetal force and destroys the arc of
There is a pulling force in the golf swing, but it's never primary, right?
Well, it's only holding. It's just holding the radius. It represents the radius of a circle.
Right.
Okay.
So in a golf swing, a person could take this. The left arm could be the holding force, and the right arm, the unfolding, could be the escape force.
Right.
That's how a person could think of.
Basic. That's exactly what it's done. The centripetal, the holding force is the left arm. It's the extension of the left arm. Then after you hit the ball, the right arm is the other half.
The right arm is like a booster, but if I stop my body, if I came through the ball and I happen to stop, then my arms are going to do what?
Drop.
They're going to drop into it. Just like if we took this thing and we went like this, now we've got our good centrifugal force, we've got our arms, everything going to the ball, and I stop, boom, you lose the elevation of the plane and it drops in a la.
Right. Now, in going through a golf swing, when you hit the ball, the shaft catches up with your left arm, but you have shifted over about 6 inches past your heel by this concave on the left side, convex on the right. Now you actually, your club is right back there. It all catches up on this lane here.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't out here when you hit the ball. That's, if people think they have to go back to the point of address, you don't do that.
So people that say, well, I try to return to my setup position, that's wrong, because you start off in a 2-foot balance, we shift to a 1-foot balance, and when we hit it, what you're saying is once we step up onto the left foot, the arms and everything have moved up 6 to 8 inches.
The thing of it is, most everybody swinging the opposite way come over what we call the North Pole and go down the hill and into the ground. I'll tell you one thing, if an airplane goes down like this, it ain't going to go off that way. It's going down into the ground, and there's everybody tell you hit down on it to make it go up.
Well, this is one of the major coaching points of your philosophy, is that when you go through the ball, see, when we go through it, the right ankle, knee, hip, and shoulder are advancing the arms up and out.
Right.
It never goes out and up, and it never goes down and in.
You don't go outside the flight line and across into a low position, as these people are trying to swing horizontal to the shoulders.
But if we go to, say, like the root causes of, it's some of the things we've discussed at length, is the golf club really never swings at the target. There's only one way. If I took the golf club and can we see this line right here? All right. Now look, I can swing the golf club only at the target is if I putt it or chip it.
Right.
But the second that when I take it back, I've got a relationship now with the flight line. But as I take it back, see, I no longer have that relationship.
No, you go
from there.
Look, you go from a parallel position to perpendicular, and that shoulder has to go down, the hip has to go down for the left side to come underneath. Then your left side gets in between your right side and the ball. You see?
But what we're talking about is, since we have no straight lines in the golf swing, just planes and arcs, is when we take the golf club back, and once our shoulder have turned, basically about 30 degrees, the whole thing, and we come back up, once I take it up here, see, I'm no longer aimed at the target. I'm aimed 30 to 40 degrees right of the target line.
Yeah.
Now, just the sheer thought of swinging at the target creates what? A down and in.
It creates a bad position of your head and your spine, and your action is down instead of around a circle. It's a downswing on this is called the first plane here. It could be called the oblique plane, but in geometry and engineering you call it transverse, okay?
Okay.
And
but